Howdy folks, Justin Warner here in my home kitchen, and I wanted to talk to you about some techniques that I have for cooking roasts. And in general, they follow the law of season, sear, roast, and rest. Can you remember that? Anyway, let's figure out how we season, sear, roast, and rest with a variety of cuts.
All right, check it out, fam. First up, we got the cross rib roast. It comes from the shoulder. Look at that fat cap on there and that intramuscular fat. All of that is good for flavor, but unless we season this liberally with kosher salt and black pepper, freshly ground, of course, it's not going to matter. You got to season, then you got to sear. Searing gets done in a hot cast iron pan or the heaviest pan you have. Season and sear. Then we move on to roasting. In this case, it will be done in the oven, about 300 degrees, for a long enough time. What's that mean? We'll talk about it later. Next up, we've got the chuck tender roast. This thing gets its name because it looks like two tenderloins kind of strapped together. But to unlock that tenderness, we're going to need to braise it. Braising is roasting in a vessel with a lid like so, with liquid. As far as liquid today, I'm using beef broth. You could use whatever kind of flavored liquid you want. Just be careful of the sugar content in there. I am going to add some extra seasoning in addition to our kosher salt and pepper, some winter spices like clove, cinnamon, some black peppercorns, and then, oh man, some cardamom. Cardamom is going to give it that Justin sais quoi, if you will, the thing that makes your guests scratch their head and say, what is that? That's delicious. I love it. So we got our spices, we got our liquid, we got our meat. We're going to pop it into the Dutch oven. Next up, we've got the bottom round. This comes from the hindquarters, and this guy is especially good for roasting. So what does that mean? We're going to season it as we would with at least salt, pepper. You could do any sort of rub that you want. We're going to sear it in the cast iron skillet and bang, straight into the oven. Season, sear, roast. Did you know that you can also braise that? You could. Indeed. Sear, oven, season, sear, Dutch oven. Finally, we've got what I like to call the Cheater's Tri-Tip. Now, these guys come pre-seasoned, pre-marinated, so you don't need to do anything for the seasoning step in this. And the Tri-Tip, of course, is from the sirloin, so we're going to sear it. Once it is seared, you could take it anywhere. You could take it to the oven, you could braise it, but I would like to take it outside. I'd also like to clean my windows. That's right, we can grill this bad boy. My friends, we've got all these roasts. They're all roasting. None of these matter unless we have a thermometer. I'm telling you, the thermometer is the absolute key. Searing looks and sounds like this. You see how everything is uniformly brown and we're not seeing a lot of grayness there? If you've got a weird angle on it, use the pan. Tilt it up to the side like that. You see? I was dealing with a trapezoid shape. That rules. Once it's seared on all sides, the roasting commences. Once you're in that target temperature zone, it's time to let it rest. And I mean it, let it rest. Don't touch it. Don't touch it at all. Well, you could move it to a cutting board if you want, but truly, don't cut into it. Here's the thing about a protein at rest. It just came out of a highly chaotic environment where it is cooking, and all of those juices are racing around inside of there. If we cut it right now, all of them are going to leak out onto the cutting board, and we'll have a drier end result. So, therefore, we are going to let it rest all the way until the next video. If you want to see how we carve into it, you got to tune in.